We have a handful of thunderstorms that are out there that are moving across the area. These were the storms that caused tornadoes earlier today. They've all since weakened. We don't have any tornado warnings. Let's get over to radar. First, a big picture view. Here's what's happening. So, this is all transitioning into a heavy rain event. We have thunderstorms out there. Sure, they're severe, but the lightning, it hasn't really been a prolific lightning maker with this thing. So, that's definitely good news. Let me loop this. I want to go through a couple different things. So we'll look at where there could be rotation in the next couple of hours, and we'll kind of talk about the big synoptic setup here and the big picture view of what's happening. So first things first, wide view. Got this on just the radar site now. You can see the line of showers and storms is advancing to the east, and it's not moving east very fast. The storms in general are moving to the northeast, which means they'll go over the same location repeatedly. And I do think you're going to see some pretty high rainfall totals out of this too, as this storm system moves in, which is not bad. We could definitely use a little bit more rain. We may get a little too much though, just because the flood watch is in effect, and I think some flash flooding is a possibility. So that's what it looks like now. These are the storms that are moving across central Benton County right now. Yeah, I mean, they're okay. They're not super strong. What I wanna do, though, is show you, how these things are trending, and the way that we can tell how they're trending is we look at, the amount of liquid that's in the storm. Now, sometimes it's hail as well, but this shows us how much is lofted, where the updrafts are most vigorous. So, if I loop this with time, I can get a feel for if these are strengthening or weakening. On the radar products, I'm using vertically integrated liquid. It's a fancy $5 word for water in a cloud. But you can see how the trend of this has been to weaken in Benton County, especially the storms that's moving. And that's why there's not a whole lot of lightning and thunder at the moment. There's been a decent weakening trend as that's moved towards the northeast. Oh, and by the way, you can also co-locate some hail with some of the darker colors here. Now, having said that, this little guy here is still pretty strong. This is the one. It hasn't really trended down yet. It's near Tahlequah and near Stillwell. And what's interesting about this is if you look at it a little closer, I was watching this earlier. There's actually been a little bit of rotation on this thing here in the last about 5-10 minutes or so. But I'm gonna turn on the velocity here and see if I can show you it. Um, the ones that are oriented north to south will have a better chance of producing a spin up tornado than the ones that are more leaning northeast to southwest. When they're vertical like this, they haven't outrun the outflow boundary yet. You got a little pocket of rotation there just north of Sallisaw, it looks like. Let's see what that looks like on right in here. There's a little pocket. But see the outflow boundary here? The outflow boundary's already outran the line. And that's often an indication, too, that the whole thing is going to be weakening. Because the outflow is going to send that cool air down to the surface. So if you got a cool boundary layer, you're not going to get any big storms. Now, having said that, look up towards Stillwell. The outflow boundary intersects the line right in here. Now, this actually did have some rotation on it when it moved over 10 killer earlier. Um, let's see if we can pull back up the velocity data, get a look at this little guy here. Don't see any right now. That's good. And I don't really see much in the way of gusty winds. It'll be interesting to see if the Weather Service extends the warning in Benton, Washington County. I don't think they will. I mean, I was just looking out there. This is Uptown Rogers looking from Bentonville, looking south. And I mean, the storm's coming in. Do you see any lightning? I mean, occasionally. Let's see if we find a flash. I don't think so. Isn't that terrible? These things always work like this, though, because you know what's going to happen as soon as I punch a different button and go back to the radar. There's going to be this huge bolt in the middle of the screen. But if I sit here and talk about it and wait for it, it's never going to happen because that's just how it happens most of the time, anyway. So anyway, but you get a feel, as you can tell, just looking at the camera. I mean, there's not much lightning there, and the overall trend for that storm has been to weaken. I think that weakening trend probably does continue here in Benton County for sure. Back over radar real quick. There you go. There are the showers and the storms moving in. I mentioned how the ones that are north-south oriented, that's like this compared to that. These little north-south oriented ones are going to have a little bit of a better shot of um, producing a spin-up tornado. That's where I'd watch. I'd also watch for any boundaries that intersect because I think that could be an issue too. Boundary intersections often do cause some spin-ups to occur too. It increases that low-level turning in the atmosphere. I do think there's a little spin there just north of Salisaw. You can see it. Looks like it came down 40. It's actually increased a little bit. Those are some real gusty winds there. just northeast of downtown. So this is out on, let's see if we can get some street names for you here other than E10, E1050. You got 101. We know where that is. Here's Brushy School Road, which runs up to the north. Here's 59. Okay, so you know where you're at now. You're looking at McCoy Ford Road. And then back to the south, you can see where here's North Wheeler Avenue, North Maple Street. Some strong winds headed that way. And it actually looks like up towards Aikens too, around 101. Some of these looks like it's crossing 101 now. If anything, this is a damaging wind. This is really the only game in town as far as damage goes. I think at the moment, it doesn't look like there's much out there in the way of any wind, any strong winds out there. This was the one I was watching earlier too. That pocket doesn't look nearly as strong as the one to the south. Well, that's going to be one to watch here. Let me go over to analyst. Let's pull this one up and see what it looks like. Get another look at this a little closer. So I'm looking here. Hang on a sec. Let's see if we get this set up. Yeah, man. I don't know here. I think you got some spinning going on here. Let's see. This is over Aikens. Let me go to a different tilt. Tilting the radar up. And I'm going to do the same thing with velocity here. I mean, it's pretty persistent. It's up to Mezzo goes up to 4,500 feet, so maybe more of a surface circulation there. Back to velocity here. And loop. Let's see. The north of town is where it is. Some fairly strong winds. Looks like it's lifted more to the north too, doesn't it, in the last couple frames? Let's see. I'm gonna crash this. Oops, wrong one. Okay. All right, let's go back over to different radar source. I'll change to this one. I think I'm working that other one a little too hard. I've got the little spinny wheel thing going. All right, so this is the yeah, there's that little pocket that we were watching on 101. Okay, so this is all moving northeast. Again, any lightning? Still haven't seen any. Storms moving in. Like legit, watch. Let's see. Um, let's see that. What am I doing here? Go back to there we go. All right, so we've got the line that's moving in here. The outflow boundary is way ahead of it. It's over Rogers. It's probably over the you know, it's not sunny. You probably see a cool outflow boundary out there right now. In fact, I know you would because I just actually went outside before I came on and looked at it. Um, so you got the outflow area that's coming in. You've got heavier storms around Stillwell, and you have heavier storms back to the south. Let me see. Did they cancel it? I think they did. Yeah, they went ahead and canceled the severe thunderstorm warning for Northwest Arkansas. I told you it was weakening. Not much there, guys. So they canceled that one, and we'll see what happens if these other ones move in. I think if this outflow keeps outrunning the boundary, we're going to continue to see the weakening trend. But I also think if there are some places like right in here and where the outflow boundary intersects the storms, like down here, where you're still going to have at least a small risk of a spin up tornado on this. Right now, I don't see anywhere that really particularly concerns me, and that one near Southside actually weakened a little bit more too. Let's see. We'll watch it move in. Doop, doop, doop. Strong and weak. Yeah, so I don't know that they'll do anything with that right now. This warning goes for another 19 minutes. They probably, just based on the intensity of the hail or the, we talked about this a second ago, the amount of liquid in the storm showing the updrafts. I think that I bet you a new warning comes for this one. It's still going. I mean, it's still pretty strong right in here. Again, it's that one that's oriented north-south. But I think another warning's probably going to be coming for Washington, also for Crawford County. Iffy on whether they're not going to issue it for Sebastian County, just because they probably will. The southern extent's still there, and there's still a little bit of spinning going on. So we'll see how that thing shakes out as it moves in. Otherwise, I think it's going to be transitioning to mostly a heavy rain event over the next couple of hours or so. Let's loop this again. Another view of what's going on, and then we get to do it all over again um, tomorrow. That's going to be so exciting. Let me see if I can pull up a run for you and show you what the model data looks like on this for the next couple of hours. you're looking at the radar data that's going on now. So I'm going to match that up to what we're seeing here on radar. Like, pull this up for you here. This button. Oh, okay. So you can see the line of storms starting to track in. Now this is future radar. So this is where we are now. This one moves out. There's a clearing somewhere around noon and 1, 11 noon 1. And then these storms start going gangbusters again coming up. That's 2 in the morning, 3, 4, not in the morning, in the afternoon. 5, so 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6 is going to be the next wave. These are also going to have a risk of being severe. I think they probably will be severe, and probably actually quite a bit stronger than the ones that are out there now. The storms that are out there now, although very strong, just aren't packing that much of a punch as they move in and we transition to a heavy rain event. Now we get more rain though overnight, and then we got a little bit more in the way of problems because more rain tomorrow after this is going to cause more of that flash flooding. And I think that flash flooding threat probably does increase quite a bit more heading into tomorrow afternoon. So that's where we stand right now with the showers and storms that are moving in. Go back to analysts real quick and get another look at a couple of pockets that we've been watching a little bit here and there. And the only thing is this is the same part of the storm that was pretty strong. So I think you have to give it a little bit more of a why. Look at that little rotation pocket. That's that one that moved up to over 10 killer. It's all falling apart now. Then let's see here. Still got a little bit right in here around Stony Point and Aikens. So I think that's going to be something to keep an eye on. But other than that, I mean, that's really the strongest storm. The one up in Benton County has just really gone. It's really fallen apart, hasn't it? Um, Still showers and storms that are continuing to move in though, so I think there's still going to be the risk of getting some damaging winds. And if we see a spin up tornado, I think I'd watch that one moving across the state line now from Tahlequah to Sallisaw, moving east up and down I-49 from near Fayetteville to Fort Smith. That stretch of 49 is probably going to be the one to watch. Let's just go ahead and get back in here real quick. Yeah, like right here, right there near north of Muldrow. That's the same area we just saw. There's also this little patch here that's south of Honey Hill. So these little two eddies right here on there. You got a little curly Q right there too. So I think both of those have that risk of a spin up tornado on them. It's not super strong. There's no tornado warning on it, but I guarantee the Weather Service is watching it though. They're watching this one and seeing whether or not they need to do anything with it as far as increasing the um, severity of it. This warning goes for another 16 minutes, so we'll see if they drop it. The Weather Service has dropped the one to the south. They've dropped the one to the north. This little polygon here in orange is the only one that's severe, and then we head into a heavy rain event. So that severe threat starts to dial down a little bit, and the rain risk starts to come up. It's a nice little couplet there. I'm gonna watch it again as it moves through. You guys see it right there, right there. Here it comes. So the spinning would be right there. It's like a G. Back to the radar now, or the reflectivity. Let's see. There we go. It's another view of it as it starts to make its way in. There just hasn't been a whole lot in the way of lightning or even hail really with this. They dropped the warning in Benton County. This is what it looks like looking live, looking north on 49. As that rain moves in, not much in the way of lightning with this storm, but much in the way of rainfall. There's a lot of rain with this. It's been a real prolific rainmaker here across Oklahoma and most of the central part of the state. I was going to see if I could pull up storm total. Let's see if this one shows it here. It's the last hour or so of rain data, I think. Unless I break the computer. Probably did. Yeah, I got the spinning wheel. I'm not going to deal with the spinning wheel with thunderstorms. All right, so take it from me. We've got some heavy rain that's moving in. We're probably going to get another inch or two out of this, and that whole line's going to translate east. Let me zoom in here, another close view of where this storm is currently occurring. Currently occurring. Here's Centerton. This is East Centerton Boulevard. There's Fish Hatchery Road, South Main Street. Coming down 102 out to where it turns into 14th Street here, you've got Elm Tree Road, Tater Black. You can see the darker yellow colors that are in there. And then looking up towards the north, there's State Highway 72. There's more Elm Tree and Mimosa Way, Northwest Apple Harvest. This is out there by Bentonville West High School. That's moving east into Bentonville, out along Southeast C Street, 14th. The new home office campus, that rain's starting to really pick up there. And then moving to the south, you can see the storm picks up in intensity a lot here near Stillwell, Spade Mountain. This is all tracking east and is going to be affecting us here for about the next hour or so. So that's where we stand as far as the showers and storms go. I'm going to go back to a big view here for you quick, just to give you another wrap up of what's going on. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect for parts of the area. Yeah, they just put a new polygon out. See it right there from Fayetteville South? And they did that because of the way that the line is orientated. So Fayetteville still under a warning back down through Alma. It's that stretch from Fayetteville to Fort Smith that we just talked about that's going to have the risk of seeing some severe weather. And I still wouldn't rule out a spin up tornado on this right there and right there. Maybe a little curly Q right there. Again, that's tracking northeast. So should this do anything, it would be in this area that we need to watch. Um, and that would take us, let's see here, Chester, Winslow, somewhere in that region. Should this thing actually do anything, that's where it would occur. So we'll keep an eye on that one, and I'll watch these storms here as they track in, and then it looks like we do it all again coming up tomorrow afternoon and evening with another round of storms moving across the area. I'll keep an eye on it, let you guys know if I see anything, or I'll be posting some radar images up on the Facebook and on the Oz Weather app.